First contact. The sleek exploration vessel Stargazer cuts silently through the star-speckled void, its polished hull reflecting the distant light of an alien sun. On the bridge, Captain Elena Rees stood with her hands clasped behind her back, dark eyes fixed on the looming planet ahead. Entering orbit in 3 minutes, Captain, announced Lieutenant Kai Chen from his station at navigation. Elena nodded, a mix of excitement and apprehension tightening her chest. After years of searching, they had finally found a planet with clear signs of advanced civilization. First contact. The phrase sent a shiver down her spine. All systems nominal, reported Chief Engineer Zara Okafor. Stealth systems engaged and holding. Very good, Elena replied. Let's hope we don't need them. Dr. Patel, what can you tell us about our new neighbors? The ship's xenobiologist, Dr. Arjun Patel, stepped forward, his lanky frame hunched over a datapad. Fascinating readings, Captain. The inhabitants appear to be carbon-based life forms, not unlike our cells in basic structure. However, their biochemistry shows some unique adaptations to their environment. Highly advanced technology, but no signs of space travel capabilities yet. Elena raised an eyebrow. So we're dealing with a pre-spaceflight civilization. That complicates things. Indeed, Arjun agreed. We'll need to be extremely careful not to. A shrill alarm cut through the air, causing everyone on the bridge to jump. What the hell? Elena snapped. Report. Zora's fingers flew across her console. Unknown energy signature, Captain. It's pulling us in. The ship shuddered violently, and through the view screen, Elena watched in horror as a shimmering net of energy enveloped the Stargazer. Despite the vessel's advanced engines straining at full power, they were being inexorably drawn towards the planet's surface. So much for pre-spaceflight, Kai muttered. Elena gripped her chair as the ship entered the atmosphere, buffeted by turbulence. All hands, brace for impact. Zara, divert all power to shields. The Stargazer plummeted through clouds of swirling green, the alien landscape rushing up to meet them. At the last moment, their descent slowed, guided by the same energy that had captured them. With a bone-jarring thud, the ship settled onto a vast, iridescent plain. For a long moment, silence reigned on the bridge. Elena took a deep breath, steadying herself. Status report. Minor damage to the outer hull, but all critical systems are functional, Zara reported, her voice shaky but professional. Life support stable, added Dr. Patel. Atmosphere outside is breathable, but I'd recommend envirosuits until we can run more tests. Elena nodded, agreed. Kai, any sign of our hosts? The lieutenant studied his sensors, then looked up with wide eyes. Multiple contacts approaching from the east, Captain. Fast. Right then, Elena said, squaring her shoulders. This isn't how I imagined first contact, but we'll make the best of it. Dr. Patel, you're with me. Kai, Zara, stay with the ship and be ready for anything. Let's go say hello. Minutes later, Elena and Arjun stood at the base of the Stargazer's cargo ramp, envirosuits sealed and weapons holstered, but within easy reach. A shimmering haze on the horizon rapidly solidified into a group of sleek, crystalline vehicles that came to a stop 100 meters from the ship. Elena's breath caught as the aliens emerged. They were roughly humanoid in shape, but their bodies seemed to be composed of flowing, liquid crystal. Instead of faces, they had smooth, featureless ovals that pulsed with inner light. One alien, slightly taller than the rest, approached. Steady, Elena murmured to Arjun. She took a step forward, raising her hand in what she hoped was a universal gesture of peace. I am Captain Elena Rees of the Earth exploration vessel Stargazer. We come in peace. The alien's head oval flickered rapidly, and then, to Elena's shock, it spoke in perfect English. Greetings, Captain Elena Rees of Earth. I am Zix, lead researcher of the Crystalline Collective. Your arrival is most unexpected, but not unwelcome. Elena blinked, momentarily at a loss for words. Arjun stepped in smoothly. You speak our language. How is that possible? Zix's body shimmered, perhaps their version of a shrug. We analyzed the electromagnetic emissions from your vessel as you approached. Deciphering your communication protocols was a simple matter. Impressive, Elena said, recovering her composure. I apologize for our unannounced arrival. We believe your civilization to be pre-spaceflight. An understandable assumption, Zix replied. We have little need for vessels such as yours. Our technology allows us to manipulate space-time directly. Elena nodded, her mind reeling at the implications. I see. Might I ask why you brought us down to your planet? Zix's head pulsed with a soft blue light. Curiosity, primarily. Your ship is unlike any we have observed before, and your cells. The alien took a step closer, head tilted in what seemed to be intense interest. Your biology is utterly fascinating. Carbon-based, yet so complex. Dr. Pertel perked up at this, his scientific curiosity overriding caution. We'd be happy to share information about our physiology. Perhaps we could arrange a cultural and scientific exchange. An excellent suggestion, Zix said. We have prepared accommodation for you and your crew. Please follow us. As they walked towards the crystalline vehicles, Elena couldn't shake a sense of unease. The aliens seemed friendly enough, but their technological superiority was overwhelming. She hoped they were walking towards a bright new future of interstellar cooperation, not into a carefully laid trap. Her concerns were momentarily forgotten as they boarded the alien craft. The interior seemed to shift and flow around them, adjusting to perfectly fit their human forms. As they glided silently across the crystalline plain towards a shimmering city on the horizon, Elena allowed herself a small smile. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they were making history. What she didn't notice was the intense focus of Zix's gaze, fixed not on her face, but lower, where the environmental suit bulged slightly to accommodate human anatomy. The alien's head pulsed with a deep purple light, radiating an emotion no human would recognize. Fascination mingled with hunger. As the crystalline city loomed closer, Elena Rees and her crew stood on the precipice of a first contact that would challenge their understanding of life, the universe, and what it truly means to be human. The curious question. As the crystalline vehicle glided into the heart of the alien city, Captain Elena Rees marveled at the impossible architecture surrounding them. Towers of living crystals stretched towards the sky, their surfaces rippling with pulses of bioluminescent light. It was as if the entire metropolis was one giant, sentient organism. Welcome to Lumina Prime, Zix announced, their liquid crystal form shimmering with what Elena interpreted as pride. The nexus of crystalline collective intelligence. Dr. Arjun Patel could barely contain his excitement. Fascinating. Your entire city appears to be a massive neural network. Is it sentient? Zix's head oval pulsed with amusement. In a manner of speaking, yes. But let's save the deep scientific discussions for later. We have prepared a welcoming ceremony that I believe you'll find illuminating. The vehicle came to a stop before a massive structure that resembled a blooming flower made of translucent crystal. As Elena and Arjun stepped out, they were greeted by a group of smaller crystalline beings. Unlike Zix, these aliens had a more defined shape, almost childlike in their proportions. One of the smaller aliens approached Elena, its head oval flickering with rapid pulses of curious light. Greetings, human. I am Lumi, a junior researcher. May I ask you a question that has puzzled our entire collective? Elena smiled, charmed by the alien's enthusiasm. Of course, Lumi. What would you like to know? Lumi's crystal form quivered with excitement. Wonderful. Tell me, human Elena, what's between your legs? The question hit Elena like a bucket of ice water. She blinked, momentarily stunned into silence. Beside her, Arjun coughed awkwardly. Zix quickly intervened, their form rippling with what might have been embarrassment. Lumi, we discussed the concept of cultural sensitivity. That question is not appropriate for first contact protocols. But Lumi persisted, their curiosity seemingly unbound by social norms. But Zix, it's crucial to our understanding. The human's lower extremities are so inefficient compared to our crystalline locomotion. There must be a reason for the peculiar gap in their bipedal structure. Elena couldn't help but laugh, the tension of the moment broken by the alien's innocent inquisitiveness. It's all right, Zix. No offense taken. Lumi, the space between our legs allows for bipedal movement. It's how we walk and run. Lumi's head oval brightened with understanding. Ah, I see. But surely there must be more to it. Your protective garments seem to conceal something of great importance in that region. Arjun stepped in, his scientific mindset taking over. Well, Lumi, human anatomy is quite complex. The area you're curious about houses our reproductive organs, among other things. It's a private part of our biology. Zix intervened again, this time more forcefully. That's quite enough, Lumi. Please rejoin the other junior researchers. We must not overwhelm our guests. As Lumi reluctantly glided away, Elena noticed a shift in Zix's demeanor. The alien leader's form seemed to pulse with an intensity she hadn't seen before. My apologies, Captain Rees, Zix said, their voice taking on a new, almost eager tone. Lumi's question, while crudely phrased, does touch upon an area of great interest to our collective. Your species' method of reproduction is fascinating to us. Elena felt a chill run down her spine, remembering the hunger she'd glimpsed in Zix's gaze earlier. I'm sure we can arrange for a proper scientific exchange of biological information, Zix. But perhaps we should focus on diplomatic matters first. Zix's form rippled in what might have been agreement, but Elena couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted in their interaction. The initial wonder of first contact was giving way to a creeping sense of unease. As they were led into the Crystal Flower building, Elena activated her comm link, speaking quietly to her crew back on the Stargazer. Kai Zara, stay alert. Something doesn't feel right here. Be ready for a quick extraction if needed. The interior of the structure was a marvel of alien engineering. Walls of living crystal pulsed with data streams, and hovering platforms of solidified light served as furniture. A group of senior crystalline researchers awaited them, their forms more complex and radiant than Zix. One of the senior researchers stepped forward, its crystalline body refracting light in dazzling patterns. Welcome, humans. I am Nova, lead scientist of the Crystalline Collective. We have long awaited this moment, contact with a species as unique as yourselves. Elena nodded respectfully, but kept her guard up. We're honored to be here, Nova. We look forward to learning about your civilization and sharing knowledge of our own. Nova's form shimmered with what might have been excitement. Yes, knowledge exchange is crucial, but we're particularly interested in practical demonstrations. Before Elena could respond, the room suddenly shifted. The crystal walls became opaque, and a low hum filled the air. Elena felt a tingling sensation across her skin, even through the envirosuit. What's happening? Arjun demanded, his earlier enthusiasm replaced by alarm. Nova's voice took on a cold, clinical tone. Do not be alarmed, humans. We are simply initiating a more thorough examination. Your biological uniqueness is far too valuable to leave unexplored. Elena's hand flew to her weapon, but she found her muscles wouldn't respond. A paralyzing field of some kind had them trapped. 6. Elena managed to growl through gritted teeth. What is the meaning of this? We came in peace. The alien who had greeted them so warmly now towered over them, its form pulsing with that same hungry light Elena had glimpsed before. Peace, yes. But progress demands sacrifice, Captain. Your reproductive capabilities, your adaptive genetics, they are the key to our species' evolution. Surely you understand the greater good. As the crystal walls began to close in around them, Elena realized with horror that first contact had become first capture. The true nature of the Crystalline Collective's interest in humanity was far more sinister than they could have imagined. With her muscles paralyzed and communication to the Stargazer cut off, Elena Rees faced the greatest challenge of her career. How could she protect her crew, her species, and the very essence of humanity from an alien race that saw them not as equals, but as specimens to be studied and exploited? The fate of two species now hung in the balance, all because of one innocent, yet profoundly dangerous question: what's between your legs? The Great Escape. As the crystalline walls closed in, Captain Elena Rees felt a surge of adrenaline course through her paralyzed body. Her mind raced, searching for a solution. Suddenly, she remembered the neural interface implant all Stargazer crew members had, a tiny chip at the base of their skulls designed for emergency communications. With every ounce of willpower, Elena focused on activating the implant. To her relief, it responded, bypassing her paralyzed muscles. Stargazer, Code Omega, she thought broadcast. Initiate Protocol Houdini. Back on the ship, Lieutenant Kai Chen received the coded message. His eyes widened. Zara. The captain's activated Houdini. They're in trouble. Chief Engineer Zara Okafor sprang into action, her fingers flying across the ship's controls. Initiating electromagnetic pulse in 3, 2, 1. Her massive burst of energy erupted from the Stargazer, washing over the crystalline city. The alien structure housing Elena and Arjun shuddered, its bioluminescent glow flickering erratically. Inside, Nova's form wavered, distorting like a glitch in a hologram. What is this interference? Elena felt the paralyzing field weaken. With a grunt of effort, she broke free, quickly drawing her phase pistol. It's called fighting back, you crystalline creep. Arjun shook off the paralysis as well, immediately tapping into his suit's systems. Captain, I'm detecting a frequency that's disrupting their molecular cohesion. If we can amplify it, do it, Elena ordered, firing her pistol at the wavering form of Zix. The energy blast caused the alien's liquid crystal body to temporarily disperse into a shower of glittering particles. Arjun worked feverishly, reprogramming his suit to emit the disruptive frequency. The walls around them began to vibrate, cracks appearing in the once flawless crystal. No, Nova's voice echoed, distorted and panicked. You don't understand. Your biology is the key to our ascension. We've become gods together. Elena's eyes narrowed. We're not lab rats for your twisted evolution experiments. Humanity makes its own destiny. With a thunderous crack, the crystal structure began to collapse. Elena grabbed Arjun's arm. Run. They sprinted through the disintegrating alien complex, crystal shards raining down around them. Outside, chaos reigned. The once majestic towers of Lumina Primes swayed and crumbled, their sentient network disrupted by the Stargazer's electromagnetic assault. As they ran, smaller crystal beings like Lumi approached, their forms flickering with distress. Please, Lumi's childlike voice pleaded. We didn't know. Not all of us agreed with the Elder's plan. Elena hesitated for a split second, then made a decision that would change the course of two civilizations. Come with us if you want to live. Lumi and a group of other young crystals surged forward, their bodies flowing around Elena and Arjun like living armor, protecting them from the falling debris. They reached the Stargazer just as Zara lowered the ship's ramp. Captain, she shouted, we can't maintain the pulse much longer. The city's fighting back. Elena ushered the friendly crystals aboard. Everyone in. Kai, get us out of here. As the Stargazer lifted off, Elena watched through the view screen as Lumina Prime's towers toppled. The once beautiful city was now a chaotic mess of fractured crystal and pulsing energy. Suddenly, a massive crystalline form rose from the destruction. Nova, now a colossal fusion of the city's remains, reached for the escaping ship with tendrils of living crystal. You cannot escape. Nova's voice boomed, shaking the very air. Your essence will be ours. Kay's hands danced across the controls. Hang on to something. This is gonna get bumpy. The Stargazer corkscrewed through the grasping tendrils, its engines straining against the planet's artificial gravity. Energy beams lanced out from the surface, attempting to snare the fleeing vessel. "Zara," Elena shouted over the ship's groaning hull, "we need more power." The chief engineer's voice was strained but determined. "I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. Wait, the crystal beings. They're interfacing with our systems." Elena turned to see Lumi and the other friendly crystals merged with the ship's consoles, their bodies pulsing with energy. "We help." Lumi's voice echoed through the ship's speakers. "Our energy, your technology." With a sudden surge of power, the stargazer broke free of the planet's atmosphere. Nova's enraged howl faded as they shot into the depths of space. As the crew caught their breath, Elena turned to their unexpected passengers. "Thank you," she said to Lumi. "But I have to ask, why help us?" Lumi's form shimmered with a gentle light. "Not all of us sought to exploit. Some of us wished to learn, to grow together. The Elder's fixation on your biology, it was a perversion of our true purpose." Arjun, who had been running scans on their new allies, looked up in awe. "Captain, their molecular structure is evolving. Adapting to coexist with our technology, it's incredible." Elena nodded, a mix of emotions washing over her. "Well, it seems we've all learned something today. About trust, about the dangers of unchecked curiosity, and about the true meaning of symbiosis." As the stargazer hurtled through space, its human crew and crystal passengers faced an uncertain future. They had escaped a threat born from misunderstanding and zealotry, but in doing so, they had forged an entirely new form of first contact. Elena gazed out at the stars, a wry smile on her face. "You know, Lumi, there are better ways to ask about what's between someone's legs. Next time, try buying me dinner first." Lumi's crystal form sparkled with what might have been laughter, a sound like tinkling bells filling the bridge. As human and crystal beings gathered around the ship's view screen, a new chapter in galactic history began to unfold, one of true cooperation, hard-earned trust, and the limitless potential of two species united by the spirit of discovery. The stargazer sailed on, carrying with it the hopes of two civilizations and the promise of a future where curiosity would be tempered by wisdom, and where the secrets between one's legs would remain exactly that, secret, unless freely shared in the spirit of mutual understanding and respect. Cosmic convergence. The stargazer streaked through the cosmos, its hull now shimmering with an iridescent glow, a testament to the symbiotic relationship forming between the human crew and their crystalline passengers. Captain Elena Rees stood on the bridge, watching as stars streaked by in blazing trails of light. "Status report," she called out, her voice steady despite the lingering adrenaline from their narrow escape. Lieutenant Kai Chen's fingers danced across his console. "We're pushing Warp 9, Captain. The crystal beings have somehow amplified our warp core efficiency by 300%. At this rate, we'll reach Earth in days instead of months." Dr. Arjun Patel looked up from his science station, eyes wide with wonder. "It's more than just propulsion, Elena. They're interfacing with every system on the ship. Our sensors, life support, even the replicators, everything's evolving." As if on cue, Lumi flowed into view, their crystalline form pulsing with excitement. "We learn, we grow, we become more together," the young alien chimed. "But Elena, we sense a disturbance ahead. A cosmic anomaly unlike anything in our vast collective knowledge." Before Elena could respond, the ship lurched violently, throwing the crew off balance. The viewscreen erupted in a kaleidoscope of impossible colors. "What the hell?" Elena growled, pulling herself back to her feet. "Kai, report." The lieutenant's voice was tight with confusion. I don't know, Captain. It's like we've hit some kind of reality turbulence." Zara's voice crackled over the comms, tinged with both excitement and fear. "Captain, the warp core is going crazy. It's like it's resonating with whatever's out there. We're accelerating beyond anything I've ever seen." Elena's mind raced. This was beyond anything in Starfleet training. But then again, so was everything else that had happened in the past 48 hours. "Lumi," she called out, "you said you sensed this. Any ideas?" the crystalline being flowed closer, merging partially with the ship's controls. It's a confluence of realities, a nexus where dimensions bleed into one another. Our journey has brought us to the very edge of existence itself. Arjun's eyes lit up with scientific fervor. Incredible. A multi-dimensional crossroads. The potential for discovery is. His words were cut short as the ship gave another violent shudder. Cracks began to appear in the very fabric of space-time around them, revealing glimpses of other realities, some beautiful, some terrifying. "We're being torn apart," Kai shouted, his hands flying over the controls. "Hull integrity is failing." Elena gritted her teeth, her mind working overtime. Then, an idea struck her. Crazy, but no crazier than anything else they faced. "Lumi, you said we'd come more together. Can you and the other crystals form a protective lattice around the ship? Use your adaptive abilities to help us ride this out." Lumi's form pulsed with determination. "We can try. For friendship, for discovery, for the space between legs and the universe beyond." With that bizarre battle cry, Lumi and the other crystalline beings flowed out of the ship, their bodies expanding and interweaving to create a dazzling fractal shell around the stargazer. As they did, Elena felt a strange sensation, as if her mind was expanding, touching the consciousness of every being on board, human and crystal alike. "I can feel it," Arjun gasped. "We're merging somehow, becoming something new." Through their shared consciousness, Elena directed the ship's course, navigating the treacherous currents of the dimensional nexus. Reality itself bent and warped around them, but the crystalline lattice held, adapting to each new law of physics they encountered. As they plunged deeper into the heart of the anomaly, visions flashed through their collective mind, glimpses of parallel Earths, of crystal worlds that might have been, of futures both wondrous and terrible. And through it all, a growing understanding of the true nature of existence, not as separate beings, but as facets of a greater cosmic whole. With a final, reality-bending lurch, the stargazer burst through the other side of the nexus. As the crew's shared consciousness faded, they found themselves in a realm of space unlike anything they had ever seen. Nebulae of impossible colors swirled around them, and alien stars pulsed with rhythms that seemed to echo the beating of their own hearts. Lumi and the other crystals flowed back into the ship, their forms now more complex, more vibrant than ever before. "We have evolved," Lumi announced, their voice resonating with newfound depth. "And so have you." Elena looked down at her hands, seeing faint traces of crystalline patterns beneath her skin. She could feel the ship as an extension of herself, could sense the thoughts and emotions of her crew more clearly than ever. What are we now?" Kai asked, his voice filled with awe and a touch of fear. Arjun, his scientific mind racing to comprehend their transformation, offered a tentative answer. "We've become a bridge, I think, between humanity and the crystalline beings, between our dimension and countless others. We're no longer just explorers of space. We're explorers of existence itself," Elena finished, a smile of wonder spreading across her face. As the newly transformed stargazer and its hybrid crew set off to chart this unknown realm of reality, Elena couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. To think this grand cosmic adventure, this evolutionary leap for two species, all started with a simple, curious question about what lay between her legs. "Well, Lumi," she said, turning to her crystalline friend, "I think we've discovered that the most interesting things in the universe aren't found between our legs after all. They're found between the stars, between dimensions, and between different forms of life reaching out to understand one another." Lumi's crystalline form sparkled with joy. "And the journey has only just begun. Where shall we explore next, Captain? What new wonders await us in the infinite expanse of the multiverse?" With a crew of hybrid beings at her command, a ship that defied the laws of physics, and an entire multiverse of unexplored realities stretching out before them, Captain Elena Rees felt a thrill of excitement unlike anything she'd ever known. "Where do we go next?" she repeated, her eyes shining with the light of 1,000 dimensions. "Everywhere, Lumi. We go everywhere." And with that, the Stargazer, no longer just a ship, but a living bridge between worlds, leaped into the unknown, ready to write the next chapter in the greatest adventure story the multiverse had ever known. The multiversal dilemma. The Stargazer, now a shimmering hybrid of human technology and crystalline biology, glided through the kaleidoscopic expanse of the multiverse. Captain Elena Reeves, her body now a mesmerizing blend of flesh and living crystal, stood at the helm, her consciousness intertwined with the ship and crew. "Captain," Lumi's voice resonated through the ship's neural network. "We're detecting a massive disturbance in the fabric of reality. It's like a war between universes." Elena's mind expanded, tapping into the ship's enhanced sensors. What she saw made her gasp. Entire realities were colliding, their unique laws of physics battling for dominance in a spectacular and terrifying light show. "By Einstein's mustache," Dr. Arjun Patel exclaimed, his eyes now swirling vortexes of knowledge. "It's a multiversal convergence point. The barriers between dimensions are breaking down." Lieutenant Kai Chen, his body now a living star chart, pointed to a pulsating anomaly at the heart of the chaos. "Look there. It's like a cosmic reset button." Elena's eyes widened as understanding flooded her hybrid mind. "It's the Nexus key," she breathed. "A failsafe created by the universe itself. If activated, it could reboot the entire multiverse, erasing all of existence and starting over from scratch." Zora's voice, now sounding like a harmonious blend of a warp core and a crystal chime, cut through the awed silence. "Captain, we're being hailed. By ourselves." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a dizzying array of alternate stargazers. There was a version where the crew had become energy beings, another where they were sentient clouds of nanobots, and even one where they appeared to be anthropomorphic sea creatures. "This is Captain Elena Reeves of Earth Prime," Elena announced, her voice echoing across realities. "What's the situation?" A version of Elena made entirely of swirling dark matter stepped forward. "We are at war," she said grimly. "A race of interdimensional beings known as the Void Weavers is attempting to seize control of the Nexus key. If they succeed, they'll rewrite all of existence in their image." "But we can't let that happen," shouted an Elena made of pure lightning. "The multiverse's diversity is its strength. We need to protect the Nexus key at all costs." Lumi's crystalline form pulsed with determination. "We stand with you, alternate selves. But how can we fight beings that exist beyond dimensional boundaries?" Arjun's eyes lit up with an idea. What if we don't fight them? What if we transcend?" All eyes turned to the scientist as he explained his audacious plan. By combining their unique evolved states and the Stargazer's reality warping capabilities, they could ascend to a higher plane of existence, becoming the very guardians of the multiverse itself. "It's crazy," Elena said, a smile spreading across her face. "It's impossible. It's exactly what we're going to do." What followed was a montage of cosmic proportions. The Stargazer crews from across realities linked minds, sharing knowledge and power. They battled Void Weavers through the quantum foam, surfed gravitational waves, and danced through the fires of creation itself. In the final climactic moment, as the Void Weavers reached for the Nexus key, Elena and her multiversal crew made their move. In a blinding flash of light that echoed across all realities, they fused with the very fabric of existence. When the light faded, the Void Weavers were gone. In their place stood beings of pure cosmic energy, the ascended forms of Elena and her crew, now the guardians of the multiverse. "Well," Elena's voice echoed across dimensions, a mixture of awe and amusement in her tone, "I guess this answers the question of what's between my legs, once and for all. Turns out, it's the power to safeguard all of existence." Lumi, now a constellation of sentient stars, chimed in. "And to think, it all started with a simple curiosity about human anatomy. Perhaps the greatest wonders of the universe do lie in the questions we dare to ask." As the newly ascended beings settled into their role as multiversal custodians, Elena couldn't help but reflect on their journey. From a simple exploration mission to becoming the protectors of all reality, it was a transformation beyond imagination. You know, she mused to her crew, now spread across the cosmos, in all my years at the Academy, they never prepared us for this. I guess sometimes the greatest adventures lie beyond the boundaries of what we think is possible. And so, the beings that were once the crew of the Stargazer embraced their new existence. They became the stuff of legends across countless realities, the curious explorers who asked a cheeky question and ended up saving the multiverse. As for what lay between their legs now, well, that was a mystery even the cosmos wasn't ready to unravel. But one thing was certain, their journey of discovery, both of the universe and themselves, was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun.